If you woke up already wrestling with worry, this isn't just a coincidence, it's a call. A call to pause, to breathe, and to begin differently. Today isn't about surviving stress, it's about inviting divine protection into your chaos. This is more than a routine. It's a spiritual reset. A morning prayer for protection isn't just helpful, it's holy. God sees what you're carrying. That fear about your job, the silent anxiety about your health, the weight of responsibilities that don't seem to lighten. And yet, he says, "Come to me, all who are weary." That's not a poetic line, it's a lifeline. A Christian prayer for divine help is how your soul exhales when your mind can't. There's something sacred about early hours, when the world is still quiet and your thoughts haven't spiraled yet. That's the moment to choose rest over rush. Say it out loud, even if you whisper, "Lord, I surrender this morning, cover me, calm me." That's not weakness, that's wisdom. You're inviting the Prince of Peace to lead the way. Psalm 5:3 says, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice." That means before the news, before your notifications, God leans in. When you start with a daily prayer against anxiety, you shift the atmosphere. You're not just reacting to life anymore. You're governing it through faith. Picture this. Instead of scrolling through chaos, you sit with the Father. Instead of rehearsing fears, you release them. That's how a spiritual morning routine becomes your secret place. 5 minutes of stillness in God's presence can recalibrate your entire day. Real peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the presence of God in the middle of them. People may ask, "How do you stay so grounded?" And you'll know, it's not about having fewer problems. It's about having a stronger covering. A powerful prayer to start the day isn't a safety net. It's spiritual armor. It wraps your anxious heart in assurance that God is ahead of you, beside you, and within you. So if you feel overwhelmed today, don't rush past it. Bring it to the altar, right where you are, because when you start your day rooted in God's protection, worry starts to lose its grip. And that's where rest begins. That's where the journey leads. It's one thing to say, "I trust God," and another to lay down what's keeping you up at night. That's what this moment is for, not just prayer, but release. A true morning prayer for protection begins with surrender. Not vague thoughts, but specific concerns. Speak them. Name the worries. When you do, you're transferring them from your shoulders to God's hands. Start right there. "Lord, I give you my stress about this meeting, my fears about tomorrow, my regrets about yesterday." That's what a Christian prayer for divine help sounds like. It's real, raw, and reverent. 1 Peter 5:7 says it clearly. "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." This isn't theory. It's a daily exchange. Here's a practice. Keep a small worry journal beside your bed. Before you pray, jot down what's weighing on your mind, then turn each entry into a declaration. "Lord, I cast this into your care." That simple act becomes a doorway to rest. You're not ignoring reality, you're giving God full access to it. Worry feeds on silence, but when you vocalize your fears in the presence of God, they start to shrink. That's the beauty of a daily prayer against anxiety. It replaces internal noise with heavenly clarity, and it reminds your soul, you're not called to carry what God has already claimed. You don't have to be eloquent. You don't even have to feel brave. You just need to be willing. Sometimes the most powerful prayer to start the day is, "Jesus, I can't, but I know you can." That single sentence unlocks strength. You step into divine protection not because you're strong, but because He is. There's something holy about a quiet heart. When you choose to hand over your mental to-do list, your emotional clutter, and your spiritual fatigue, you're doing more than praying. You're positioning yourself for peace. And that peace, it becomes your baseline. It becomes your anchor. Because when you finally let go, even just a little, you begin to feel it. That rest in the presence of God. Not forced, not faked, real. And from that rest, a new strength rises. ready to be directed toward what matters next. This isn't just about calming your mind, it's about dedicating every part of who you are to the one who made you. When you offer your body, your thoughts, and your spirit to God first thing in the morning, you're declaring, I don't want to go through this day unguarded. That's what a morning prayer for protection truly means. Total alignment, total surrender. Let's start with your body. Maybe you've been pushing too hard, ignoring rest, or numbing stress with overwork. This is your moment to say, Lord, protect my health today. Strengthen me. Renew me. A Christian prayer for divine help covers your physical steps before you even take them. You're not asking for perfection. You're asking for preservation. Now think about your mind. How many tabs are open up there already? Thoughts racing, replaying old fears, forecasting new ones. Take a moment. Lay your hands on your head if you need to and pray, Lord, cleanse my thoughts. Let my mind be stayed on you. That's not symbolic, it's spiritual warfare disguised as stillness, and your spirit, it's the deepest part of you. The part that knows when something's off, even when everything looks fine. A daily prayer against anxiety isn't just about emotional balance, it's about spiritual authority. You're not begging for peace, you're reclaiming what Jesus already gave you. Rest isn't a gift for later, it's a promise for now. Here's something practical. When you pray, picture each area being washed in light, your body filled with strength, your mind filled with clarity, your spirit covered in peace. Visualization isn't fluff, it's focus, and focus in prayer sharpens your faith. That's what a spiritual morning routine is for, intentional alignment with heaven. You might be surprised how your day shifts when you begin like this. Instead of reacting to the world, you move from a place of wholeness. You notice less tension in your shoulders, more patience in your voice. That's not coincidence. That's divine alignment. That's the fruit of a powerful prayer to start the day. So today, don't just ask for protection, invite consecration. Make your body a temple, your mind a sanctuary, your spirit a dwelling place for peace. And from that place, something deeper begins to unfold. Something that will shape how you move through everything that follows. Before stepping into the noise of the day, take this seriously. Not every battle is visible, and not every danger announces itself. That's why a morning prayer for protection isn't optional, it's essential. You don't just need covering for traffic and meetings, you need divine shielding for what your eyes can't see and your heart can't anticipate. This is where your faith gets practical. Open your mouth and declare it. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. That's Psalm 91, and it's more than poetry. It's spiritual armor. A Christian prayer for divine help draws invisible lines around your life. Lines no anxiety, no enemy, no accident can cross without going through God first. Protection isn't paranoia, it's preparation. Just like you lock your doors at night, you lock down your spirit in the morning. Declare safety over your commute, over your home, over your decisions. That daily prayer against anxiety becomes a force field of faith. And guess what? The more you practice it, the more peace becomes your default. Here's something practical you can do. Walk through your house before you leave. Touch your doorways and pray, Lord, protect everyone who comes in and out today. That act isn't superstition, it's spiritual stewardship. You're claiming ground, not just hoping for good vibes. That's a powerful prayer to start the day, and it changes the atmosphere. Your protection isn't limited to physical safety. Ask God to guard your conversations, your thoughts, and your reactions. There's spiritual danger in frustration, temptation, and discouragement, and God wants to shield you from those too. A spiritual morning routine equips you to walk boldly into situations that once made you anxious. And don't forget the people around you. You don't walk alone. Pray that those you cross paths with would be aligned with God's peace, not chaos. That your co-workers, neighbors, and even strangers would experience a divine ripple effect from the protection that covers. That's influence. That's intercession in motion. So as you step into the world today, do it knowing you've been spiritually armored and physically covered. No trap set against you will prosper. No shadow will steal your light. Because from this point on, you're not walking into the unknown. You're walking under divine protection and with your next prayer already forming. Sometimes we confuse peace with inactivity, but real peace is productive. It clears your vision, calms your emotions, and guides your steps. When you begin your day with a morning prayer for protection, you're not just asking for safety, you're asking for strategy. You're saying, God, direct my time, guide my words, align my actions. That's how grace fuels productivity. Let's be honest, distractions are everywhere. Emails, text messages, even our own anxious thoughts pulling us in 10 directions. That's why you need grace, not just to do more, but to do what matters. A Christian prayer for divine help brings discernment. It teaches you what to say no to so you can say yes to peace. Here's something practical. Write down 3 things you must do today. Then pray over them. Lord, if this isn't aligned with your will, redirect me. That single habit will save you from burnout and invite divine guidance. It turns your to-do list into a tool for worship. That's a daily prayer against anxiety in action. Peace isn't passive, it's power under control. And when your soul is at rest, your decisions carry more weight. You're not rushing out of pressure, but moving from purpose. That's the beauty of a spiritual morning routine. It builds a calm confidence that others can feel, even if they don't know where it comes from. Want to know why some people seem unshaken, no matter how hectic things get? It's not because their life is easy, it's because their spirit is anchored. A powerful prayer to start the day invites that same anchor into your routine. You begin to prioritize peace like you prioritize food or sleep, because without it, everything suffers. Ask for wisdom today, in your meetings, in your relationships, in your choices. Ask God to go before every interaction, smoothing out tension and opening doors you couldn't force open on your own. Grace isn't just about forgiveness, it's about flow. And that flow is the secret to supernatural productivity. So don't aim to just get through the day. Ask to live it well. To be fully present, fully directed, fully empowered by the one who orders your steps. Because when grace and peace lead the way, the results aren't just efficient, they're eternal. And what comes next requires even more. Every day you walk out that door, you step into a battlefield, whether you realize it or not. But the good news? You don't have to step out unarmed. A morning prayer for protection isn't just a request, it's a spiritual declaration. You're not begging for safety. You're putting on the armor of God, piece by piece, like a soldier ready to stand firm. Start with your thoughts. Pray on the helmet of salvation. Let it guard your mind against lies, fear, and negative loops. You're not a victim of your emotions. You're covered by divine truth. A Christian prayer for divine help reinforces that identity. Saved, chosen, protected. That truth becomes your filter for every voice that tries to shake your peace. Then raise the shield of faith. Not everything will go smoothly today, but not everything has to. The shield isn't for stopping life from happening, it's for extinguishing the darts that try to turn inconvenience into anxiety. When the email is late, when the traffic hits, when the tone is off, you hold that shield up and say, I'm still standing. Now grab the sword of the Spirit. That's the word of God. Speak a verse out loud, even if it's simple. The Lord is my refuge. Peace I leave with you. It doesn't have to be long, just sharp, just spoken. That's how a daily prayer against anxiety becomes a daily offensive weapon. You're not just surviving, you're resisting. And don't forget the belt of truth and the breastplate of righteousness. Truth keeps you from slipping into lies like, I'm not enough, or God isn't listening. Righteousness guards your heart when offense or comparison tries to creep in. A spiritual morning routine is how you secure these pieces before stepping into emotional traffic. Want something practical? Write down your armor prayer and tape it to your mirror. Each morning, pray through it out loud while getting ready. This isn't superstition. It's spiritual posture. You're not hoping to survive, you're planning to conquer. That's a powerful prayer to start the day, and it shifts your entire mood. Because when you walk clothed in God's armor, worry has nowhere to land. Anxiety can't take root. Distraction loses its voice. And you? You walk through the day not just protected, but positioned, ready for whatever and for whoever God leads you toward next. When you start your day in prayer, don't just stop at your needs. Stretch your faith to cover those you love. A morning prayer for protection isn't just personal. It's powerful when it becomes relational. God didn't design your peace to be private. What you carry in His presence, you're meant to extend to others, your family, your friends, even those you haven't spoken to in years. Picture your spouse, your kids, your parents, your friends, each with their own worries and silent battles. Maybe they'll never say what's really going on, but your intercession speaks for them. A Christian prayer for divine help becomes a shield over their lives. You may not always be able to fix things, but you can always pray. Try this. Create a circle of covering. In your mind or journal, name the people close to your heart. Speak a blessing over each one. Lord, protect Sarah's mind today. Give wisdom to David at work. Let peace fill our home. These aren't empty wishes. They're targeted prayers, and they carry weight in the spiritual realm. Don't underestimate how far your voice can reach in the spirit. A daily prayer against anxiety doesn't just stabilize your heart, it has a ripple effect. When you cover your loved ones in prayer, you're drawing invisible lines of divine protection around their lives. It's love in action. It's legacy in motion. You might never see the danger God blocked from your child's path, or the healing that began in your spouse because you stood in the gap. That's the beauty of intercession. It's unseen impact. A spiritual morning routine isn't complete until you've said, God, don't just cover me, cover them too. Here's a tip for busy mornings. While brushing your teeth or driving, call out names under your breath. It doesn't have to be dramatic, just sincere. God hears it all. That habit alone can bring rest to your soul, knowing you've lifted those you love into His care. That's a powerful prayer to start the day, and it multiplies peace. So this morning, don't hold back. Spread the blessing. Speak over your family like a prophet, not just a parent or partner. Let your words create a covering, because when you rest in God's presence, you begin to want that same refuge for everyone you care about. And that hunger for praise, it leads right into something even deeper. Gratitude is a weapon, don't underestimate it. When you begin your morning not with complaint, but with praise, something breaks in the spiritual realm. A morning prayer for protection becomes even more powerful when wrapped in thanksgiving. You're not just asking God to move, you're acknowledging where He already has, and that kind of awareness silences anxiety before it speaks. Start simple. God, thank You for waking me up. That alone is a miracle. Many didn't see this morning, but you did. A Christian prayer for divine help should always include appreciation for the help He's already given. Think back. How many times were you worried? And He came through. That memory is your praise fuel today. Try this. Keep a thankful log. One sentence each morning. Yesterday you gave me peace in that hard meeting. You protected my kids on the road. These small recognitions become spiritual deposits. They accumulate. They remind your soul that even in the unknown, God has a track record of faithfulness. Praise changes the atmosphere. Turn on worship music while you get dressed. Sing along, even off-key. Thankfulness doesn't require a perfect voice. It requires a willing heart. That's a daily prayer against anxiety in melody form. It shifts your focus from pressure to presence, from what's missing to who's present. Gratitude also keeps pride in check. You didn't carry yourself this far, God did. When you acknowledge His provision, you stay anchored. That's why a spiritual morning routine should always include space for reflection. What did God do yesterday that you almost overlooked? What little grace did He pour out when you weren't even paying attention? And don't just say thank you in general, be specific. Thank you for rest, thank you for clarity, thank you for protecting me from that thing I didn't even know was a threat. That level of intentional praise builds trust. It lays a foundation of peace that can't be shaken by today's surprises. That's a powerful prayer to start the day, because the more you thank Him, the more you recognize His hand in every detail. And when your heart is full of gratitude, it naturally flows into expectation, into faith, into the kind of confident declaration that opens the door for what's coming next. Peace isn't just an emotion, it's a position. When you close your prayer time, you're not just ending a conversation with God, you're stepping into your day from a place of authority. A morning prayer for protection should always conclude with conviction. You're not hoping to be covered, you're declaring that you are. Take a deep breath and say it like you believe it. I will not be ruled by fear today. I am covered, I am kept, I am led. That's not fluff, it's faith. A Christian prayer for divine help becomes prophetic when you speak it over your own life. You're not waiting for peace to find you, you're walking in it. Try this. Write down a daily declaration and stick it on your mirror or phone. Something like, no weapon formed against me will prosper today. I will walk in peace, not panic. That turns your prayer into a compass. It gives your soul direction before the demands of the day start pulling at you. There's a reason Scripture says we can have peace that surpasses all understanding. Because the peace God gives doesn't always make sense. It just works. It silences anxiety without solving every problem. That's why a daily prayer against anxiety should end not in uncertainty, but in stillness, in trust. You might not know what the day holds, but you know who holds you. That shift in perspective is what makes your spiritual morning routine more than a habit. It becomes your strength. You step into meetings, conversations, challenges, not alone, not exposed, but covered in the presence of God. So before you move on, pause one more time, whisper it boldly. This will be a day of peace, a day of protection, a day of purpose. I rest in God's presence and nothing will move me from it. That's a powerful prayer to start the day and a prophetic covering for everything ahead. Because once you've spoken life over your morning, you don't just feel better, you walk differently. Shoulders back, heart steady, eyes lifted. And what's coming next? It's not random, it's guided, it's covered. It's already being aligned as you step forward from this moment of surrender. Now that you've received this truth, the real question is, what are you going to do with it? Will you let today pass like any other? Or will you walk like someone truly covered by divine protection? Don't just listen, live it. Apply this powerful morning prayer every single day. Speak it, declare it, believe it. What would your life look like if you actually lived like God was protecting you? How would your home feel if peace wasn't just an idea, but your atmosphere? Who around you could be impacted if you shared this spiritual covering with them? Someone in your life needs this kind of shield, and maybe you're the one who's meant to deliver it. So here's the challenge. Start your day with this prayer for the next 7 mornings. No excuses. Keep a journal. Track what shifts. And when fear tries to sneak back in, remind yourself, I'm not walking alone, God's deliverance goes before me. Now, if this message spoke to you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another moment of truth and peace. And don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that they are divinely protected too.